Seafoam versus Marvel Mystery Oil, the competition I've been looking forward to for quite some time. In previous videos, we saw that Seafoam did a phenomenal job at both improving the compression of an engine as well as removing carbon deposits from the internal combustion chamber. By the same token, it's expensive. This stuff is $7 to $10 a can for 16 ounces. So how about Marvel Mystery Oil? I spent about $3.50 for 32 ounces, so you get twice as much product for half the price. Marvel Mystery Oil, it's a legendary product. It's been around a long time. But the question remains, is it as good as Seafoam? If you're like me, I'm willing to pay more for quality. To me, it's all about quality. I don't mind spending the $7 to $10 if I can get a guaranteed good result. By the same token, if I can get an equal result for less cost, I'm going with whatever costs less. So today, let's find out once and for all which product is better. So this is the top of the carburetor. Anytime you perform a compression test, it's important that air can flow freely into the combustion chamber unencumbered. And so in order for that to happen, it's important to have the throttle plate in the wide open throttle position. So I'm going to go ahead and put this screw in here, and this allows air to flow freely directly into the internal combustion chamber. Okay, the engine temperature is 66 degrees. The exhaust temperature is also 66. I'm going to spin the engine over 5 times and measure our compression. I'll go ahead and pin the throttle in the wide open position again. Okay, the warm engine compression test. Some have commented that when I'm adding fluid to the carburetor that some of it's leaking down and going into the crankcase ventilation tube. Now, just so you know, this tube goes uphill and into the crankcase, so it'd be virtually impossible for fluids to go uphill up to the top of this engine and back down unless this engine had some sort of a vacuum. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put this hose in place, and I'm going to tape it in place as well, just to make sure that nothing that I'm adding to the carburetor is somehow leaking down into the crankcase. This is going to rule out any risk of that. A lot of folks providing comments suggest adding the Marvel Mystery Oil at a controlled pace. So what I've done is I put together this little setup. I have a bag which then has a hose that goes down. This right here is a clamp that will restrict the amount of fluid that's going to flow out of the bottom of the hose. And of course, I'll put this inside the carburetor, and this will control the flow of Marvel Mystery Oil into the engine. So to be consistent with what I did with Seafoam, I'm only going to add 8 ounces to the bag, and then I'll go ahead and hot soak the engine with some additional Marvel Mystery Oil. finished hot soaking this outside, and then I started it up and it seemed to run pretty good. The smoke has cleared, so what I'm going to do now while the engine is still hot is remove the spark plug, find top dead center, and then I'm going to go ahead and hot soak this engine in Marvel Mystery Oil for at least for right at 20 minutes. Yep, this is full, so I'm going to put the spark plug back in so it can soak. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the spark plug and drain off the excess Marvel Mystery Oil that's in the cylinder. As you can see, the cylinder is still full. Okay, so the engine's warm. I'm going to go ahead and put this screw back into position so the throttle plate is wide open for this compression test. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and spin the engine over a few times to get a compression. I'm about to do the cold engine compression test. Seafoam or Marvel Mystery Oil? I would really like to hear your comments on which you think won this contest. Which one do you think is a better value? Seafoam costs more, but is it worth the extra money? If you've used both of these products, are you convinced that one of them is better than the other? I set aside about 2 to 3 hours after publishing these videos to read your comments and to reply to each and every one of you. So I hope you will take time to comment, because I really enjoy reading your comments and I learn a lot from them. The very next video I do, though, I think you're really going to like it. I've been using JB Weld my entire life, and it is a phenomenal product. But I've never used it to fix a cracked cylinder head. So in the next project, I have destroyed a cylinder head using a grinder. I cut right through the cylinder head, and I'm going to test whether or not JB Weld can actually fix that cylinder head. That's a tall task to fill. And I'm not so sure JB Weld is up to this task, but I think it's worth a try. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video, and I look forward to the very next one. Thank you.